Welcome to Art Happens. Sometimes art happens in the most public of ways. Have you ever been to a festival and you see one person with really cool henna art on their hand, and you see a second person, and a third, and a 10th, and a 12th, and you wonder, like, where is this henna coming from? Well, we have in the studio today a young lady by the name of Lisa Spaulding. We kind of know each other. And she has a really cool company, Henna Creation. She's all over Ontario coming up in this coming year. And welcome to the show, Lisa. I'm going to shake your hand.
Don't.
I'm going to shake your hand.
I'm not going to.
Fine.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to the show. Tell us a little about you and what you do and how you do it.
I am a certified natural henna artist. I've been doing it professionally for 8 or 9 years now. I might be going on my 9th. I'm not sure. So henna body art. Whoa,
Ooh.
fun stuff.
Well, let's get that for the camera. If you
okay.
Hold perfectly still. That's just so extra yummy.
This is a fresh stain.
Okay.
Meaning, here, I'll let you get the full arm. I just applied it late last night. I was tired. Some lines aren't great. And it darkens over 2 days. It darkens through oxidation. I know. Do you want me to go into the detail of
yes.
that? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So henna is a plant.
Yes.
And the leaves of the plant has a natural dye molecule called lawson. And it binds with the collagen in the skin or the keratin of your hair or your nails. This is henna in my hair. This is henna.
Okay.
Yes, you know that.
That's it. Well, they don't know that. So
they do.
Okay,
yeah,
they
but you don't have
that?
to play stupid. It's okay.
Fine. I'm playing stupid.
Okay.
What is that?
So after the lawson dye binds with the collagen or the keratin, it takes 48 hours for it to darken. So it'll start as a very light orange stain and it darkens through oxidation, the way an apple core darkens when you're done eating it. Yeah. So 24 to 48 hours, you're gonna start seeing really nice deep rich stains. 48 and a little bit after that, maybe into the 3rd day, you should get your absolute peak color.
So if I get henna done on me and I get black henna done on me and it stays black right at the beginning, then that's
just evil. It is of the devil. It's awful. It's black henna. There's no such thing as black henna. Henna being a plant, there's only one kind of henna. It's natural. So there's only going to be one dye molecule, only one color available. Any other colored henna is not henna. It's going to be chemical dyes. Specifically, black henna, it is paraphenylenediamine. It's black hair dye chemical concentrate. It is the most toxic of the hair dyes of all the chemicals used. It is illegal to use in the skin in Canada, and half of the US states, thankfully, has finally made it illegal.
I understand. Is this true that hairdressers are required to not put it against the scalp when they're dyeing your hair?
You know what? Being on YouTube and the internet, every state, every area is going to have its own little laws. But yes, around here, from my understanding, never in a concentrated form. They're supposed to not let it touch the scalp very much at all. And you see like a lot of youth who dye their own hair black, they end up getting massive welts and scarring down their back over time because as the PPD continues to run down their back when they're taking it out in the shower, the chemicals are constantly irritating the skin. Paraphenylenediamine, PPD, is a sensitizer. So everybody's going to react to it. And the more often it's used, the more badly you're going to react. So a lot of people, they get to the point when they're doing a lot of hair dyeing themselves at home, it gets to the point where they can't even wear black clothing. They can't wear black eye makeup, anything, because they become so sensitized to PPD. It's awful. But yeah, it's illegal because it causes cancer, kidney failure, liver failure, bronchitis, permanent scarring on the skin. If you Google images and say henna scars, you're going to see most disgusting photos, but there's tons of them, usually from the Middle East, because in the Middle East, they care more about it being as dark as possible than safety and health. So they tend to use a lot of PPD, and they surprisingly don't care about the scarring at all. But here people, get a little upset about it. But yeah, whenever you see the henna scarring, that's from the PPD. It's really nasty stuff. So real henna is going to look like this. It's going to be a nice, beautiful, pure green powder. There's not going to be any other colors in it. It's not going to be red. It's not going to be brown, not going to be black, because this is pure henna leaf. So it's going to be this nice green. So if you buy henna anywhere, you make sure it looks like that. It should be pure henna, nothing else in it. Henna cones. You always want to buy a pre-made henna cone if you want to buy one already mixed, because it takes 24 hours to get dye released with henna. You really need to know what you're doing to get the lawson dye out of the plant. So if you're going to buy a henna cone, usually you want to buy from a professional henna artist like myself that we make 100% natural, pure henna paste. But it should just look like this. This is just like cellophane that you wrap gifts in. I make a little cone out of it, fill it with the henna. If you go into a store and you see the pre-made henna tubes, they're going to be full of chemicals. Because of labeling laws in the Middle East, they don't need to tell you the chemicals that are in it. So a lot of them will even say PPD free or, like dye free or whatever. Most of the time it's a flat out lie. But even if it doesn't have PPD, there's going to be other synthetic dyes and things like kerosene oil, gasoline oil, ammonia, those nice, yummy, caustic ingredients. Because Lawson dye has a shelf life. Once the plant is harvested, the leaves are dried, ground down into a powder, the Lawson dye starts to demise, just like vitamins will demise in fruit after it's picked. So when I'm getting my henna, I import directly from India, my organic powders. And it's like a 4-day delivery, and then it goes directly in my deep freezer. Henna needs to be stored in the deep freezer for the Lawson dye content to stay high and active. So they know that when they're making these pre-made henna cones, that the Lawson dye is going to be dead. They need something else to stain the skin. Thus, all the dyes and the other chemicals come in. So safety is a big thing. All certified natural henna artists, we're committed to teaching the public for their own safety. So yeah, stay away from anything black or other colors. Stay with natural red, or some people call it brown henna. So stay with the natural stuff and have fun.
So I know some people, for example, they buy henna from a health food store and then they don't get a good stain. So you're saying because of how it's stored, it's not, it might have been good henna even to begin with, but because it wasn't frozen, it might not keep its dye.
Yeah. I know that, there's a few like craft stores and stuff that will sell henna kits. So same kind of thing that usually when it comes to stores, it's slow shipped over on boats for 6 weeks. And they're usually shipping old henna to begin with, because professional artists like myself, we bring in the fresh crop. Like I'll order immediately after the crop is harvested. And I know my farm supplier in India, they ship upwards of 10,000 pounds of henna powder to professional artists and suppliers across just the US alone. So there's the leftover scraps that tend to go to those commercial products. So it's been sitting around for a while, and then it's slow overseas for 6 weeks, and then it sits at customs for a while, and then it sits in the warehouse shelves for a few months, and then it could be sitting on the store shelf for a year. You don't know. Yeah, and then when it comes to the health food store, the hair dyes, especially the ones in the blue and white boxes, it's pure henna and other, they'll put in other plants like indigo and stuff, but there's metallic salts added. So it's not going to be an absolute pure product when you're doing your hair. Again, it's going to be old, so you're not going to get the color that you should. But that is why hairdressers are mistakenly taught that you cannot do chemical processes over top of hennaed hair, is because they only know about the metallic salts added in like the garbage henna. But when it comes to pure henna, you can do any chemical processing over it.
So if we wanted to get a hold of, we'd have to get a hold of you or someone that's a certified natural henna artist. I'm sure that information is going to be at the bottom of the screen for people to contact you if they wanted henna I know a lot of people like celebrating with henna through the summertime.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. And talking about hair, so these are examples of hairness, hairy, yummy hairness.
One is ripped out here because I actually gave that strip to my stylist because he wanted to play using another colorant over the henna just to prove that you can. But this is my original hair. This is my original hair color. My hair used to be down to my butt, and I cut it off and I made my little color charts. So these are all the different colors you could get from my original hair, combining henna, cassia, which is sometimes accidentally called neutral henna. It's a different plant, has a yellow dye, and then indigo, which everybody knows that's your blue dye. Right? So when you mix them in different ratios, and amla, a fruit, it's also called Indian gooseberry, that is a cool, you can play with the cool and the warmth of the shade. So you can see the browns have a different tone once amla is added compared to not. And then here is your 100% jet black done naturally, no chemical dyes needed. You henna your hair first, rinse it out, and then you indigo your hair, and that's how you get pure black.
What is indigo?
Indigo is it's the plant that's been used for thousands of years for your blue dye.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Braveheart painting his face blue.
Well, no, the ancient Picts did use fermented. It wasn't indigo. It was I'm forgetting the word. Woad. It's a similar plant. The dye content just isn't as high as indigo. But all the blue clothing of old, even oh my gosh, I think even up to the 60s or 70s, even Levi's, like all jeans were still dyed with indigo, and then they eventually switched over to FD&C and all the other chemical dyes.
Quite the knowledgeable lady, I tell you. So you've done a lot of study, obviously, to build up your craft. Also, I'm sure, spent a lot of time doing henna to get good at the process of henna.
Yes.
We have some pictures of your work. I'd love to share with our audience some of the work that you've done.
All right.
This is
one of my favorite models to work with. She could stand so still. This is kind of an example of a modern sassy bridal henna. Living where I live, we don't have a very high Middle Eastern population, so I tend to get more white brides than brown. And because, it's the different culture here, they don't necessarily want the traditional from fingertips up to your elbows, both sides, both hands, and up to the knees on the feet, but they still want henna. They want to play with it. So that's a very sassy, playful way of adding henna. It's kind of like peekaboo henna for a bride. Other fun ways of doing it is to henna full corset underneath, so only the groom sees it, that type of thing. Or, we just do like simpler elements on the hands. Some Caucasian brides from, Northern Ontario, they still want the full traditional, which I love to do. I love the crazy tiny detail work. But yeah, so that's just a sassy, playful, modern take.
And you do these works out of the studio here in Collingwood?
For local. If it's a private appointment, I tend to come here to the local studio. If it's parties, so birthday parties, girls' night in, just any kind of party situation, as long as there isn't drunken chaos going on, then I go to locations. Same with corporate accounts. I get hired to go into a lot of businesses to, spoil the staff or for celebrations, or even spoil the customers for shops and stuff. So again, that's going to be on site.
Okay. And you have a studio in Barrie as well?
Yes, yeah, at 80 Bradford Street. It's all by appointment only. So I'm available there 3 days a week. So I tend to try to pile everybody on one day, and I go into Barrie. I can run my errands as well as henna all my Barrie people.
Okay, more of your work. What have we got?
That's an example of more traditional bridal henna. So going all the way up the arm, very intense detail. Just very, very sassy legwork. It doesn't always have to be on the hands. You can put henna anywhere you want. The depth of the color is going to change according to where it is, because the thicker the skin, the darker the stain is going to appear. So it's always going to be lighter, like up on her thigh than down below. But it's really fun doing something like that. As most people consider my sexiest henna photo, my favorite male model, Mathieu, and the little sucker moved on me, so I can't use him anymore. But that's a gorgeous example of a North African tribal style of henna. The other ones up till now have been more Indian in style. Every region will have its own, elements. So North African focuses very much on your geometrical. This is, I specifically did this one as an example of, say, a prom henna or a sweet 16 party, something like that, where your youth are going to get all dressed up, even a semi-formal, just something pretty and delicate, not necessarily bold on the hands, but complementing a dress for a formal event. And this is more funky. This again is a North African design, and we're just playing. My model is, very more punky. So I wanted to play with something deep and rich with her, but also kind of funky and fun.
Henna stains keratin on the skin.
Collagen.
Collagen on the skin. See, it shows my knowledge.
Where did your schooling go?
I know, right? Collagen. Keratinized epithelial tissue. Anyway.
Yeah.
So it works on your nails, works on your skin, and works on anything with like carrots. No. Okay.
Keratin or collagen?
Or collagen.
Yes.
Got it.
So silk, wool, leather, like doing drum skins, all that kind of stuff.
Speaking of which, we have your silks in the studio here.
Yeah.
So we can share, we're just going to talk generically about the silks. I understand as you do your silks, you not only henna it, so is it temporary when you henna
Permanent.
silk? It's permanent.
Yeah.
Because the silk doesn't exfoliate.
Exactly. It's permanent on the skin, but
Okay.
we shed the dead skin cells that are hennaed. But yeah, the silk isn't shedding anything. So it's
Okay.
going to be permanent.
Okay. So you permanently stain the silks, and then each silk is a different color.
Yeah, they're all hand dyed with plant material. All the colors come from plants.
Wow. Mm-hmm. All those colors.
All those
How many
colors.
different kinds of plants do you use to make all those crazy colors?
I think I have about 15 different types of botanicals on hand for dyeing.
And how long does it take you to make one of those crazy custom silks?
Okay, well, it takes 4 hours just to prep silk for natural dye.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's a labor of love, not profit. And then you're looking at least 2 hours in a dye bath per color. And then, like scour, clean. Usually in the end, if it's both colored and there's a lot of henna work on it, somewhere up to 15 hours, 17 hours sometimes. Because even after the henna is done, I have to iron it for like sometimes 2 hours to set the henna. If I want it darker, I can henna it longer and it'll get darker. So it's just hours of ironing. And yeah, it's a labor of love. Mm-hmm.
And outside of henna, while we have the floating camera floating around the studio, you also have other things that you do as well. I believe you do a skincare line too. You take your education to skincare?
Yep. I started making my own skincare products, gosh, at the same time that I started doing henna. So basically, I just got tired of all the stuff at the health food store still irritating my skin. I have super, super sensitive skin. So especially the soap. I started with soap. It was irritating me. So I did my research on how soap was made, figured out why certain oils made soaps harsher on the skin versus gentler. And yeah, I started making my own soap and I thought, hey man, let's just make everything, because I couldn't quite find what I wanted. So I just made things the way I wanted and then other people wanted it. So yeah, ended up being Skin Treats.
So skintreats.ca is you.
Yeah.
And we will see you across Ontario. I think you're going to be at Campin' Fest.
Oh gosh, I'm going to be everywhere. Okay, so June, I'm at Windsor Art in the Park and then Burlington Sound of Music, big music festival. So June is kind of quiet for me, which is great because I have a lot of gardening to do. And July is crazy. So I have Promenade Days in Barrie, the Canada Day Festival downtown. Then I'm going all the way up to Blind River. Blind River always hires me for community days to give away free henna to the people there. And then Hillside Folk Festival in Guelph, my favorite festival. And then I think, what's after that? Oh, I know there's Campin' Fest in Barrie and there's Rhythm Fest in Barrie. There's Summer Folk Festival in Owen Sound, another amazing music festival. I think that's it. I don't know. I might have missed one. I'm not sure.
Lotto, do you enjoy it?
I love it. It's exhausting. I have to sleep for a day or two after a festival, but it's so much fun, especially the people make it.
I was going to say, what do you love most about doing henna?
Oh, about doing henna. What I fell in love with henna is the fact that, to me, I see it as a living art because it comes from a living plant. The dye, it can demise, it's living, it can fade away. The stain, it starts one color, it grows to another color, and then it fades away. So to me, it's very much a living art. I love the fact that it's not permanent and I can constantly do new things. That's what fascinates me about henna.
Well, we're already out of runway.
Alrighty.
Pleasure having you on the show. Look forward to having you again. Maybe sometime we'll talk about your skincare.
Yeah, I'll see you upstairs later.
We'll see you at the next show. Sometimes art just happens.
Art Happens is brought to you in part by the Spaulding School of Music, Backland Photography, Sexy Saxes,